Welcome back to the Mail-In Podcast, live from the Lodge in Austin, Texas. I'm doing this a weird way, Sally, and it's kind of, I'm like, this is the first time I'm trying my mic at a different angle. Mm-hmm. Much harder to fade out our music, but I got there. How are you?
I'm good.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking the people who follow my husband on Twitter.
Will deFries, at Will deFries on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah. Probably found out that he was COVID positive.
He was.
On Friday. Mm-hmm. I think he had the Omicron, because he wasn't super
the OC.
Sick.
Yeah.
But he used his gift card from his Uber Eats gift card from the company to order a juice cleanse.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what he used it for? A juice cleanse?
Correct.
Oh my gosh.
He ordered several days worth, 2 for him and 1 for me. And I got like halfway through the cleanse on Saturday.
Okay.
And like between like having to quarantine away from each other and like just sheer boredom, I was over it. And like after 2 juices, I was like, fuck this, I'm not doing it anymore. So we've had these in our fridge and I need to drink it now because I think it's going to go bad.
What are the ingredients in that one?
The ingredients are, so this is one of the ones I was supposed to drink. I didn't, obviously.
Okay.
Cucumber, pineapple, coconut water, lemon, and aloe vera.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
It's pretty good, but it has a whopping 24 grams of sugar in it.
Oh, wow. For a juice cleanse, I feel like that's just not.
No, the thing about juice cleanses are that you can do it, but you don't feel good. You feel like you might be getting diabetes.
Oof.
Because they're so sugary.
Yeah.
And your teeth full on feel like you're getting a cavity the whole time you're doing it. Like that was my main memory takeaway from doing a juice cleanse several years ago. And I did the like greens heavy juice cleanse.
Okay.
But they always like cut it with like apple juice or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty sugary.
Oh my God.
But
are you familiar with like bone broth cleanses and things of that nature?
Yeah, I have. I'm a several time graduate of the Master Cleanse.
What is that?
The Master Cleanse was like all the rage when we were in college, and we did it a couple times.
Okay.
It's
is that the one that Randy does at home for like when he's home alone?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
The Master Cleanse is like this lemonade with cayenne pepper in it.
Oh,
it's essentially like
okay.
just a gallon of water squeezed with like a bunch of lemons and cayenne pepper and I think agave.
Oh boy.
Or maple syrup, one of the two. But that's all you drink for 10 days.
Like no food, no nothing.
No food. We would get it from like Juice Land. Because you could make it yourself, but they had it pre-made. So we're like, we're not going to buy this shit.
Oh boy.
You drink like a fuck ton of it. And then once a night, you also drink a liter of hot salt water. Have you ever done that?
What? No, I've gargled salt water.
Shit your pants if you do
it.
You basically like cleanse your entire body.
It's what it sounds
anything that was like left in your colon.
Yeah, like no, you are clean out.
And when we did it freshman year, I lost like 10 pounds in 10 days.
Yeah, I mean that'll do it.
But there was a party that weekend, and we were like in the middle of it. So we had started on a Monday. We had to we had started like on a Wednesday, I think. So the first weekend, like we were doing it, and then we had the whole next week, and then we like finished on a Friday or something.
Yeah.
It was SA Vegas, and we went to the party, and we didn't eat anything, but we did mix tequila into our Master Cleanse.
Oh my God.
Drink. I don't suggest it. It's not a good idea.
That sounds awful.
And then I proceeded to get the most drunk I've ever gotten in college, like that weekend afterwards, because I had like no food in my body.
Yeah, there was nothing in you. Oh, Sally.
Yeah.
God bless you. Are you familiar with the Panchakarma cleanse?
No, what's that? I would do bone broth though. Bone broth that actually feels like you're.
I would need like
getting some sustenance.
Yeah. This is the cleanse that Aaron Rodgers just did. If I could, yeah, he's not everybody's favorite guy. But can I give you the breakdown here?
Yeah.
3 days of ghee therapy. You consume ghee, that is, for 3 days until you evacuate at both ends.
Do you know what ghee is?
It's a butter-like substance,
It's clarified
right?
butter. So it's butter without the milk proteins.
Interesting. Okay. Number 2, 1 day of therapeutic vomiting. Number 3, 1 day of laxative therapy, which probably just sounds like taking a bunch of laxatives. Number 4, 3 days of herb drops in your nose. Number 5 is many days of enemas. And number 6 is yoga and meditation throughout. That's the Panchakarma cleanse.
I don't think that that's a good idea for
I don't think
people
anything.
to do. I personally really hate vomiting, like a lot.
Yeah, I'm not huge on it. Honestly.
So if I can avoid, like, that's like, not that I would ever do ayahuasca, but the whole thing about like people getting so high that they're like vomiting, like gives me so much anxiety.
Totally.
I mean, drugs in general give me anxiety. So like, I'm just like the number one candidate for not having ayahuasca because I think that I would handle it so poorly.
You
but
wouldn't be like transported to an interdimensional space.
Going in knowing that like I was gonna vomit is like I'm already out on that.
Okay.
I don't want to do it.
If I'm spinning, if I'm back at home on the couch and like trying to fall asleep or something after a night out and I'm spinning, I'll go pull trig.
I wish I was like that.
Ugh,
We had a stomach bug go through our house recently. I think I was here after that. I missed that episode. Will filled in for me.
Will did fill in for you.
I have never been so sick without throwing up. I was begging to throw up. And
that's what Adam said too. Y'all had like the same thing.
Adam
that's
got
so
probably what we got,
weird.
but I was like, I would rather be throwing up right now, and I couldn't.
Oh my gosh, that sounds awful.
And I can't make myself throw up, so I wasn't about to try to go do it.
No, I don't have to like. I'm gonna be careful how I word this. I don't have to like pop a finger back there. I can kind of
you can do it on
myself
command.
into
Harry
that.
can do that. My little brother can do that.
Yeah,
he can just.
I have to stop. I have to stop. I'm thinking about it. Yeah. If you give one heave when you already need to, you're good. That's my advice.
Are you? Do you puke and rally?
Okay, so weird story here. I thought for a good year that I was allergic to beer because every time I would have a pumpkin beer in the fall of 2015, I would be stone cold sober, full stomach, etc. I would throw up. I would have one beer, feel nauseous, and have to go puke, and then go out. And my friends and I would drink more after that and be fine.
Maybe you did have an allergy.
So I would like pivot to, that's where I became, honestly, that's where I became more of a bourbon fan.
Yeah.
And bourbon and tequila and vodka was because beer like literally made me throw up. And I thought something was wrong with me. And then just generally like it was 2 beers before I had to throw up. Then it was 3 beers before I had to throw up.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of went away. But it was so weird and I can't explain it. So
you probably had an allergy.
I very much could have had
like a mental block against pumpkin.
I think it was anxiety related. It's a very anxious fall/winter for me.
Yeah.
So I think it could have something to do with that. But
maybe you need to go to psychotherapy for it.
Need to go to psychotherapy for my beer. My beer. Yeah. Like, oh, you have an alcohol problem? I'm like, no, but like differently. I throw up when I have beer. Is that weird?
Yeah.
And luckily, we're back now. So, are you a puke and rally person?
No.
Sally pukes one time, she's done.
No, I'm done. I mean, that's the thing. If you're not a throw up person, once it happens, you're done. You're not going out.
You're out. Well, if you're a puke and rallyer, good for you. But I'm not.
I don't even throw up when I'm drunk. Like if I'm drunk to the point of throwing up, we have reached like I might not need to go to the hospital.
There's a DEFCON situation.
Yeah. So if I'm never puking around, because if I'm puking, I'm going to the hospital probably.
Well, that's enough talk about puking.
Sorry.
No, I think it's valuable information for our listeners out there. Before we get going though, Sally, happy 2-year anniversary to you and said Will deFries.
And my husband, Will deFries.
That's the one. Just kicking. 2 years. That's crazy. Let's do questions.
He did tell me today that he's going to start asking anonymous questions to the mail-in like months before anniversaries and birthdays and stuff about what to get his quote wife or significant other so that he can know what I want. I'm like, why don't You just asked me.
We went over this. This 1 year is paper,
Mhm.
2 year is like
Cotton.
Will had no idea that there were like levels.
Well, and I said that we need to go after the modern one, which is like, you know, like 50 is diamond, but like in the modern one, you get to diamond like year 10. So
Some
let's
the modern day
increase
girls
that
are like,
scale.
hang on a second, 50 is too long.
50,
Right?
we won't even be alive at 50
Oh,
probably.
jeez. Dark, but let's get going here.
Okay.
Hey, guys, do I invite my friend to our wedding or not? For context, this guy was my roommate for 4 years in college. We are real good friends, but for some reason, my fiance does not get along with him at all. I noticed that about every time he's come to visit, his tone and attitude towards her is really short and almost as if he doesn't want to hear her opinion. The last time was the final straw, and that's when she told me she doesn't want him there. He would have been a groomsman most likely, but now I'm not sure how to bring this up. Do I try and appeal to my fiance to let him come, or do I have to have the hard conversation and tell my friend he cannot come, where I know it'll put a major strain on our friendship? Sally.
Oof.
Tough one. Also, need to know the backstory here. What's the beef?
Well, okay. Couple things. One, if he doesn't invite the friend to the wedding, the ex-college roommate, he said it's going to put a strain on the friendship. How much of a friendship do they currently have? And are they planning on having a friendship in the future? Because it kind of sounds like his fiance is totally out on his friend.
Way out.
So like,
so how much does it matter?
Exactly.
But point being is if he's your boy, like
right,
a groomsman level boy, how do you?
There's a couple like concerns for me here. That's my number one is like, okay, do you still have a decent friendship with this guy?
Mm-hmm.
And will you, wedding aside, would you continue to see him, or are you not going to because your fiance / wife hates him?
Mm-hmm. True.
So does it matter? But then that being said, why does your fiance hate him so much?
Need to know.
And why is he being a dick to her?
Why they hate each other?
So that's my other concern is like, if you bring this up to the guy and like, you're not coming to the wedding, is he going to be like, I don't want you to marry that girl?
Can you imagine at like the rehearsal dinner when they're doing speeches and he's a groomsman and he's like, oh, good luck with that one, or something like devastating to the wedding?
Like, I think the more concerning thing to me is like, what's the disconnect? And like, is he going to is he going to drop some bomb on you being like, you shouldn't marry her? Like, does that give you any pause to be like, she hates him so much, what's the deal? Or he hates her.
What's the deal?
Versus like, okay, what if it's just like the friend is like an asshole and he's a drunk and he's just like one of those friends that comes around that's like kind of always been around, but you're just like, he's an idiot and we just like ignore him. I don't really like him.
He's sort of like, he's been a friend for so long that you kind of have to claim him, but you're like, nobody else can make fun of him but me, even though I know he's been an asshole to him.
So we kind of have this in our friend group.
Name names.
I'm not going to, but there is a guy that is in Will's friend group that Will is not super close with.
Okay.
I should say that first of all.
Okay.
And every time I'm around him, I'm like, I just don't like that guy. Partially because he's just like a full-blown drunk and like is not personable. And like, I think if you asked him about me, he'd probably be like, I've spoken like 2 words to her total. So there's no like real reason. Like, I don't have like beef with him. I'm just like, he's just like really messy. Like, he's just like a mess. And like, I don't really want to talk to him. And he definitely doesn't want to talk to me.
Okay. Got you. Following.
And so he was not invited to our wedding. But also like,
is this me?
No, no, I'm sorry, but no, but also like, Will didn't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, had we had the big wedding in Michigan, he probably would have been there, but like easy to cut him out when we did the small thing.
Sure.
And since then, like, Will's probably seen him a couple times, but it's nothing like that's put a strain on their relationship because their relationship like wasn't like, he was part of the friend group, but he was not close with Will. It's not like he and Will are like texting one off.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if it's like that, I get that. Like,
Mhm.
okay, do you care about losing the friendship with this guy? Is your loyalty to him only because you lived with him in college and it's like y'all have kind of like moved on with your different stages of life, and like if he doesn't come to your wedding, like that's
Mhm.
just going to be the next progressive step in like the friendship fizzling out? Okay, then probably not worth begging him to be there, begging your fiance to be there. But if it's somebody you actually care about, I feel like there's more to the story. Like you got to
Mhm.
figure out why he hates her so much and why she probably hates him because he's a dick to her. But like, why is he being a dick to her?
Right. There's got to be more there. I think there's potentially 2 overreactions happening here and one easy solution. The
Mhm.
first one is I think he's overreacting to the potential friendship loss. Like I've been invited to weddings that I didn't think I would be at, and I haven't been invited to weddings.
You're saying the writer, the person who
Yeah.
wrote in, is reacting to the friendship
feeling
loss.
like he's like, oh, it could be major strain on the friendship.
Right.
Listen, I've been not invited to weddings that I totally thought like literally my college roommate.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's weird. I didn't make the cut for that one. And my buddies be like, yeah, it's kind of weird too. But guess what? Like, if he showed up at my doorstep, I'd be like, yeah, you can crash on the couch, no problem.
Yeah.
So that's the first overreaction. The second one is from her in this situation, because I think like to say that our relationship's going to be ruined if this guy is here, and there's not like very clear context that it is a permissible reason, then like, come on, there's going to be hundreds of people there. Like, let's suck it up for the 15 seconds you guys are going to see each other. And the clear solution here is get them in the room and say, what's the deal? How do we figure this out? Communicate, if you will.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a...
Yeah. I mean, I get it from her point of view. Like, I get being like, he's an asshole.
He's an asshole. He's such. I don't want him there.
And I don't want him there.
Can we dig into that a little bit more? Can we not take that at face value and just say, okay, I get that. Can we sit down? Can we talk through it and have a beer
I
over it?
think I need more details to know like
Mhm.
what went down. Cause like it's like the last time they were together, the friend got really drunk and like called her a bitch or something. I'd be like, yeah, you're not fucking invited to my wedding.
Sure. Maybe drop him from the groomsman roster.
Right.
So he's not in pictures. Maybe drop him from the bachelor party so she's not like, are you with Kyle on the bachelor party,
Yeah.
like fucking around? Maybe keep his invite to an invite only, and he doesn't show up for the rehearsal dinner. He's just Saturday in, Saturday out. There we go. Maybe you do something like that. Limit the exposure, if you will.
Yeah, I think the writer, the question asker, needs to kind of evaluate what his future with this guy is.
That too. A lot of solutions there, Sally.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one, shall we? Hi, Brett. Hi, Sally. My boyfriend, who's 29, and I, who am 27, currently live in Chicago. How about that, Randy?
Wow, great pronunciation there.
Where our families live, but we are considering moving to a new city. Austin is obviously on our list, but I wanted to ask if you had to move to a new city and work remotely, like many of us are doing mid and post-pandemic, what cities would be on your short list, Sally?
Okay. This is probably because I don't want people to move to Austin.
Oh no.
And I literally almost punched somebody the other day outside of our apartment.
Oh my God.
Because
For what?
Because Will and Fritz and I and Rosie were all down like at the little park by our apartment
Squad
by the water. And there was a couple that had like young kids.
Okay.
Like 2 kids that were young. And they were talking to like these 2 dudes with their boat. And they were all talking about how they were coming from California. And I was like,
oh man,
these Californians moving
Don't California, my Texas.
I can't buy a house because all of you are driving the prices up.
Oh,
yeah. So that's just my PSA. Don't move to Austin. But obviously it's a great city. And if you want to come here, you should. Here's why I don't think that Austin is a great city if you're coming to work remotely.
Okay.
Unless you're making like buku bucks.
Sure.
You're not saving money from moving to Chicago to Austin. If anything, you're paying more.
Correct.
So when I read that question, I was like, that's a little interesting. Because I think if I'm going to go like work remotely somewhere, I'm going to go somewhere where I'm going to like save money and like be in a cool place, whatever.
Bozeman, Montana, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Yellowstone.
Although if you ask people from Montana, they're probably like, please don't fucking move here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, you're from
Because
Austin? Ugh.
Bozeman and Missoula are also facing the same thing of like insane growth.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Which is really happening all around the country.
Mm-hmm.
That all being said, I don't want to come across as a bitch. Please move to Austin if you want to. But like, don't buy a house sight unseen and then fuck up everyone else. I think it's the worst.
What's on your short list? Sally?
My short list actually is in California.
San Diego?
No, probably Sonoma County.
Oh, a little northern.
Yeah.
No Cal, as the people say.
So we had friends who did that. So we have friends who were from Chicago.
Okay.
Pandemic hit. They went back to Michigan for a little bit where he's from, where Will's from.
Okay.
And one of Will's friends and his wife. And then they kind of have been bouncing around since then because she can do everything remotely. And he now is starting to be able to do stuff, way more stuff remotely. Although at the time he was having to go back to Chicago. So they went out to Sonoma County. Then they've now they're in somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. They were in Colorado for a little bit.
Sure.
But then I have another friend who just is from San Francisco, moved to Austin, and then just moved back to Sonoma.
Okay.
For me, this kind of ticks boxes of smaller town, but you're near a big city. So you're near an international airport. You can fly wherever. And it's not difficult to fly places.
Right.
I think for me, that's the issue with Montana is that if you're going to fly to Montana or out of Montana,
not easy.
You've got to go to Denver first and then fly out, you know? But they live in the cutest house in a really tiny neighborhood that they go to all these vineyards all the time. You can go up to the coast. You can go pop over to the coast easily.
Sure. I love that.
Just really easy to get outdoors and do cool shit.
Yeah.
All that being said, I can't do my job remotely.
I was gonna say you're pretty locked into non-remote work.
If there is a hospital that does surgery, I can move there, and that's pretty much in a lot of places.
I was gonna say that's in more places than I really would have thought.
And really, moving rural for me is almost easier because that's where they need people.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's on my short list, like Sonoma or Napa.
I dig it.
Or Healdsburg, anywhere around there. I'm not saying the cost is going to be cheaper. I just
just purely pie in the sky type of stuff.
I mean, Colorado, somewhere in Colorado is on my list.
Totally, and that's kind of where I'm going with this. Is that I'd want to do the 3-month Airbnb thing and just bounce. If I'm gonna work completely remotely, I don't think there is any scenario that I'd sign a year-long lease. Yeah. Because I'd want to bounce around. Because I love the idea of doing San Diego in February, March. I love the idea of doing Breck in, or Vail or Park City. I'd ski towning it for 3 months. Skiing all day, working all night, doing whatever. I love the idea of a Charleston and golfing. I love the idea of a Sonoma. Like you said, that would be incredible. So I think if I had to move to a new city, I love Austin, don't get me wrong, but probably San Diego, Denver, and then sneaky a DC would be on my list. And I can pretty much set my watch to living in one of 3 places for the next however long. It's Austin, maybe Denver, and upstate New York. Yeah. I can't imagine moving anywhere else. Yeah. But I would totally do the Airbnb.
See, I think if I was going to go work remotely, I would just totally get off the grid.
Okay. Just totally. No more mail-in podcast.
Not totally get off the grid, but I'm saying go somewhere that's not. I like city life a lot, but I would want to be somewhere where I could easily access outdoors, which you can in Austin. But I'm saying the ocean, probably.
Yeah, I think that's I mentioned San Diego. My buddy lives in Pacific Beach, kind of north of downtown. Yeah. And it's incredible. Bungalows and coffee shops and still a good going out district. I don't think I would want to give that up yet. Because I'd still want some sort of lively
I guess
bar and brewery
as I
district,
say that, then I'm what if we have friends who have a house in upstate New York in Hudson Valley. And
a whole lot of lively
that
spots.
sounds tight, but for like a week. Because I feel like once I'm there, I would be like, okay, I'm like in the Blair Witch Project now. Like it's just I'm like here by myself with my thoughts. So maybe you do need to like move to a city where you can like experience new shit.
At least have some sort of lively, like we're going to meet people sort of place.
What's like your nightmare scenario? Like someone tells you you've got to go work remote and we're sending you to this city. Like,
gosh.
What's
I don't want to throw people under the bus here. If you have
is it like Oklahoma City or like?
Yeah, I mean, if I got sent to
like
St.
middle
Louis,
of nowhere,
I wouldn't be thrilled.
town.
Oh no, you know where? Anywhere in Florida. Sorry, Florida folks. Anywhere in Florida.
Even Miami?
But absolutely not. Get me as far away from Florida as possible.
They're like, you have to go to Jacksonville.
Oh, please, no offense. I just, it's not even a Florida, like Florida man, robs bank on meth. It's the weather. I'm not a humid guy. I cannot do humidity.
Okay.
I would happily go to the ocean for a weekend and soak it up, but I cannot stand humidity. And Austin is hot and can get humid.
Yeah.
But like I've been in Houston for a summer, that's too humid for me.
Yeah.
I just anywhere like coastal Gulf of Mexico / Atlantic
you would do
Ocean.
Charleston.
I would do Charleston for prime like January to March golf weather.
Okay.
But do not Florida anywhere. If somebody said you have to move to Tampa, I'd quit. I'd literally quit. Same with Jacksonville. No offense.
Wow.
What's yours?
I don't know. Some like landlocked like.
Well, yeah, like Omaha, Nebraska, probably pretty cool during the College World Series, and I don't want to live there. I'm sorry.
Like, yeah.
Just here's me alienating our listeners from Omaha and the Florida.
The thing is, like, I say that, but then there's like cities that are really cool that I can't judge them. I haven't been.
It's true.
I mean, I'm going to go with the typical Ohio.
Ooh. Tell you what, though. Been to Columbus and Cincinnati, both pretty cool spots.
Yeah,
Cleveland, I'm not going to really ride for.
I can't shit on Ohio. I've never been to Ohio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not going to shit on Ohio.
I went to Kansas City for New Year's 2015. Stayed in a Holiday Inn and had barbecue. That's where I spent my New Year's Eve. That's all I know about Kansas City. Good football team. Good barbecue by all accounts.
So you were on the Missouri side though.
Yes, I was. But then I immediately crossed over into the
Kansas side.
Yeah. Or no, flip-flop. I was in Kansas driving from Denver, spent the night in one of the sides of Kansas City. Catch me in San Diego or Ski Town. Tahoe, Park City, Breck, Vail. One of those. Probably not like Telluride though, because it's too far from the airport.
Yeah.
Just saying. Next one?
Yeah.
Dear Brett and Sally, I was in an on-again, off-again situationship for a few years that ended a few months ago. Long story short, bless you, we hang out in between... Hold on. Long story short, we'd hang out in between seeing other people, and I wanted to take things further, but she was weird about it. Seeing an impasse, I figured it was best to just move on, and I blocked her on everything. Now, 3 months later, she mailed me a handwritten note telling me she's sad and regretful for how she was, and she hopes we can still be in each other's lives. What am I supposed to do with this? Thank her for the apology? Just ignore it? I'd be lying if I said I didn't still have a soft spot for her, but this seems like trouble. Cue the Taylor Swift lyrics.
This is such horseshit.
Damn, how do you really feel?
This girl knows exactly what she's doing.
Uh-oh.
I mean, personally, I think the guy is welcome to contact her and say, thank you for the letter.
Okay.
I accept your apology.
Okay.
I hope that you understand why I cut everything off, because I wanted to be in a relationship and you didn't feel the same way, and it was easier for me to move on.
But now that she doesn't have her little security blanket.
Right. You can give her that. And that's it. if by some chance she comes back and is like, no, I want to be in a relationship with you, whatever, then you do with that what you will. I don't think that that's the case here, because I think that
Okay.
he would have mentioned that, like that she just said, I'm sorry and I want you to be in my life.
Be in
like
my life, right?
that's bullshit. No, she put him in the friendship box and then kept him there, and then now she doesn't have him there whenever she like needs someone to
She
talk
doesn't
to.
have the closer off the from the bullpen.
I think he is welcome to thank her for the apology and explain why he did what he did, but then he should again cut off communication.
Is it weird to think like the whole like block you on everything? Is it like a little too much in this day and age?
No, because I think it's really hard to move on from somebody when you're seeing all their shit all the time.
I don't like unfollowing or muting or something like, but I can't see myself like blocking a number or blocking a Instagram or blocking a Twitter, blocking.
I think it
Snapchat.
totally just depends on the person and their personality. Like,
Okay.
if your mind is able to shut them off without having to do any of that, that's
Sure.
great for you.
Okay.
I personally was not that way.
Case by case basis.
Yes, and had social media been as big as it was in college as it is now, like I would have had to probably block
Got it.
people that I had,
Sure.
unrequited love
right.
for.
I see.
I don't think that this is that big of a deal from him, but I just think it depends on what you're dealing with. It sounds like he couldn't get over it, so that's what he did.
This happened to me.
She wrote a letter to you?
Yeah, 17 pages.
What?
Yeah. College girlfriend. We broke up just before senior year.
Okay.
And kind of like back and forth a little after that. It wasn't a clean break, I'd say.
Okay.
And then I went clean break like after that. Because I was like, I'd get back together tomorrow. You don't want to do that, so I need to clean break this. Didn't necessarily block or do it. Just kind of like,
right.
We're done. I moved, and 3 years later, got a 17-page letter while at Barstool.
Okay.
And I like was saying, but she was totally like, I want to get back together. This is like awful, yada yada. I'm so sorry. I'm so this. I didn't see it then, yada yada yada. And I texted her back and I said, in many more words, thanks but no thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'd say give her a text or something like that.
Yours is a little different because y'all were actually in a relationship.
Yeah, situationship is different,
she
right?
Came back and was like, I want to be with you.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is easier for you to be like,
correct.
No.
Very much so. When they've never necessarily like tested full on.
But I think if you open that door, if you don't give her like a hard like, hey, thanks for the apology, this is why I did what I did, there's no friendship for us in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Bye. And then you got to close the door again, because if you leave it open, then you're just going to be back in the situation you were.
Yeah. But what if he wants, like, I guess it's up to him, kind of.
Does anybody want that? Does anybody want a situationship? Like, you think you might at the time, maybe you're having like a friends with benefits situation, but like, it's not worth to me, like the emotional heartbreak of like wanting someone and not actually being with them.
And like kind of being with them, but not really, and getting like enough crumbs.
Because then when you're like with somebody that you're actually love and want to be with, and they want to be with you too, you realize like how stupid you were for like spending years of your life like
situationing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like the time you wasted. It's not worth it.
Damn. I think I'm totally on your side here.
Yeah.
Cut it.
Girl, bye.
Cut it out. Joey, not Joey Gladstone.
I was about to say Fatone.
I was too. Yeah. Joey Fatone. Oh, man. But, never mind, writer. Just cut it off. I think that's what you do.
Yeah.
Hey, Brett and Sally. Day one listener here. Shouts. I need some advice on a situation. I don't want to call it unrequited or unrequited. Unrequited technically, but I've had feelings for my older brother's best friend and roommate for years. And I cannot seem to shake it. I moved to the same city as them within the past 6 months or so. So I hang out with them all the time, and now the feelings have become a full-blown crush. We get along really well, and I think it would be a great match, but I feel like there's some unspoken rule that you can't date your friend's younger sister, even though we've never had a conversation about anything like that. So what are some of the best ways to get over a crush? Thanks so much. Love you guys.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
Been there.
Really?
Well, not like I'm just having a
just
crush.
like, yeah.
Not like.
Oh yeah, crushes are fun.
Not my brother's friend. And also he's younger, so that'd be like
that's a little
I mean it can happen.
Cooter City.
Okay.
How do you get over a crush? Easy answer. Get under somebody else.
Yeah. My one question
let's
here.
Dive further into that.
This is my one question. Because I'm a hopeless romantic. Is there any chance that he likes you back?
Of course. I've liked friend sisters before, but I think there is sort of an unspoken rule, like you can't like.
We have
flirt
answered
with
this
them.
before about people who like a guy with his friend's younger sister. I think.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I said, I think it was with Dylan. I was like, go for it. And Dylan was like, absolutely don't.
I don't. Yeah. If he did, he would like talk to her brother about it and be like, dude, I'm into your sister, not like trying to hook up with her, but like I'd like to explore a relationship with her, maybe. But that is such a slippery slope. Best friend and roommate.
Yeah.
Guess where you're not hooking up.
Yeah. And the other issue here is like, okay, for me, I'm like, if he likes you and y'all have obvious chemistry and you think that like you would date, like that's one thing. But like if he just like likes you enough to like hook up with you once and like fuck up your friendship, his friendship with your brother, your relationship with your brother, like that's probably not worth it.
Yeah.
And then if he doesn't like you and you just have a crush on him, like you gotta just tell yourself like,
it can be a fun, like, I have a crush on him, or you can even be like overt about it. So it kind of cuts tension and is funny.
Yeah.
But how do you get over a crush? You just have to find somebody that you crush on equally or more.
Correct.
That is tale as old as time.
I mean, there's like really logical parts of me that want to just tell you to like, get with it and figure it out. Like,
get with him or
no, just like get your shit together,
Gotcha.
like slap you in the face and be like, you're fine, move on.
Yeah.
But that's so much easier said than done.
Of course. Crushes are crushes for a reason.
Exactly.
Like,
it does make it easier to know like, okay, he doesn't like me back.
Okay.
It's time to move on. We got to find someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am making this up in my head and putting him on a pedestal and having infatuation for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. You want what you can't have. It tends to
what
like.
You can't have. You don't really like. You've never been with him, so you don't like. You think you've made up all this shit in your mind. That's fantasy.
Yeah. It could be all a mirage here.
Yeah.
It's just a hot guy who's friends with your brother.
You think that like you would have this great relationship, but like really he's a piece of shit. Probably.
Ooh, okay.
He might not be. He might be.
So you either need to get with somebody else, crush on somebody else, or like break this man down enough that he's no longer an object of your So it's like make up terrible scenarios in your mind where this guy's an asshole.
Yeah.
I don't think that's possible.
So I am going with years of
even if it's not
find
like
someone new.
Finding somebody and hooking up with them, or finding somebody and being like in a relationship, find somebody else to crush on. Maybe if you're in dangerous scenarios like this, it's like your coworker. Just go for that.
what my real advice though is, because like the only way that I get over crushes is to like tell the person like I like you,
Oh man.
and I need them to like let me down and be like, oh nope,
Oh nope.
no,
Okay.
no,
So that's the nuclear
no,
option
no,
here.
no. Yeah, that's the nuclear
Oh
option.
boy.
But you know me, like honesty is the best policy. Like I would rather tell the friend, the brother's friend roommate, like, hey, I have a crush on you. It's like hard for me to be around
Oh.
y'all because I like you so much.
Oh
And
boy.
I need you to tell me that it's never going to happen. Then we'll just move past it.
And there we go.
Because to me, like, that is the closure I need.
Okay. But then what if he hits you with like a, do you? You're just
then
like,
you open the door for a little relationship.
oh man. And then then your boy's like, whoa, time out. We got dominoes and now we're doing this? Like over
Sally's
a couple
a
of
real volatile friend to have. I'm thinking back about like every crush I've had that like was a like a lasting crush.
Okay.
Like I think I told like all of them.
I don't hate that move. I don't know
'Cause
if I've
it's
done
like-
that once in my life.
I think it's
Besides like the 3 relationships.
therapeutic for me to be like, then be like,
Nope.
no. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to change your
Oh, man.
mind, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So there's another option. Just straight up tell him. Just playing Settlers of Catan and you're just like, hey, by the way, can I have your wheat? And I really like you. Tell me this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, good luck.
But then you also run the risk of like him being like, well, I like you too, but we can't do anything because of the brother.
Then you're
And
in the
then you're in a
territory of like,
situationship. Then you're in like weird territory, which has also happened to me. Like I've been like, I like you. And they're like, well, I like you too, but not enough to date you. And so then we're going to
boy.
continue this song and dance for another year. And you're going to hate your life.
And your brother potentially walks in on you hooking up with his roommate and best friend.
Yeah.
You know what? Life's too short.
Tell him.
Tell him.
Let us know how it goes. I just convinced Brett. Tell him.
Tell him. You know what's the worst that can happen is he says no and you move on.
And honestly,
Or
it
that's
might be
fine.
awkward
That
for
might
a
even be the
second, but
best.
it's
I don't
almost
know.
like better to be like,
Yeah.
hey, I like you. I need you to tell me this isn't going to happen so that I can like mentally move on. And then I'll mentally move on and it'll be fine.
You'll laugh about it.
Yeah.
A couple months later.
And a couple months later, it might be weird for a few weeks. And
Yeah.
then a few months later, it'll be fine.
Oh boy.
I'm
Okay,
just
well,
blowing people's lives up over
Let me
here.
let me know how that one goes. Writer, please.
Are we giving good advice or are we just like
I think we're having fun.
running
here.
people into the ground here? Personally, that's what I would do.
I like it. I just that's always, why is that like so innately the last option? You know, it's like, oh well, just get over it. It's like, wait, what? There's another option that's just being honest.
Yeah.
Why don't we like default to that instead of being like, oh, can't tell him or her, have to go like round
Because
about
as a
it.
society, we are not honest with each other.
Yeah.
Think
We're
about
not
all the
honest with
lies,
each other.
like, and I'm not talking about like full blown making up lies that are like intricate and have all these details, but think about the like little white lies you tell yourself or your partner or your friends or your coworkers
Totally.
just to like make you feel better about your life.
Just give your life like less resistance and less like big fork in the
Right.
road moments, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like the pathway is much more comfortable going as is than turning something into a fork in the road moment where you have two outcomes, both of which are like, I don't know.
Like, it's just sometimes it's easier to like, maybe not lie, just like change your truth.
Ooh, it's not a lie. It's just a changed truth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Seen that around the Twitterverse. And
Like, have you ever like been talking shit about something and then someone's like, oh, that's like my favorite thing. And then you're like, well, it's not that bad.
yeah, of course.
Yeah. That's
Of
what we're
course.
talking about. It's the little things you do like that all the time to seem more reasonable and likable. And
oysters suck, but like on a group with oysters, we're doing oyster shooters.
it's like, if that's what you want to do, like, yeah, we do that shit all the time. So yeah, it's easier to just lie to yourself about like your crush and not tell anybody and never pretend, instead of just going up to the guy and being like, I have a crush on you. I want to bone you. I think you're really cute and I'd like to have your babies. Obviously, you don't have to go full throttle like
I have
that.
to check all those boxes, but
instead, you're going to wait around and try to get over a crush by getting under someone else, which is also fine. Or you could just drop the crush bomb.
Crush bomb, Randy. You think Randy leaves after the mail-in pod? He's just like, what am I going to do with this information? Just every week.
He's going to tell his crush.
He's going to tell his crush.
Yeah. Yes.
More on that after the pod.
Oh.
Next one, Sally. Quick couple rapid fire ones to finish off the pod here.
Okay.
Who pays for the rehearsal dinner for weddings? We are getting married in August. Congratulations. And I've always thought we are responsible, but the one wedding my husband was in, the groom made them pay.
Okay. This was written weird, so I
do too.
Is she saying that like the groomsmen paid for the rehearsal dinner?
There's a scenario where she's saying that. I kind of read it as the people attending are paying for it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like her fiance was in a wedding. He's a groomsman, and he paid to be at the rehearsal dinner.
Right. He say it was a dinner at a steakhouse. They bought the dinner or something equivalent.
Right.
I've never seen that before.
No. The short answer, that scenario, it doesn't matter what we're confused about. The short answer is the groom's family pays for it.
Yes. That is the
groom or the groom's family.
Correct. That is the societal norm, right? Every scenarios differ.
Right.
But the normal thing is the groom's family pays for the rehearsal dinner.
Right. If your parents are paying for your wedding, if you're the bride and your parents are paying for the wedding, then your fiance's parents, the groom's parents, are paying for the rehearsal dinner.
Correct.
If y'all are paying for the wedding yourselves, I think it's also safe to say you are also paying for the rehearsal dinner yourselves, the bride and the groom.
Yep.
Unless somebody from your family wants to help out.
Sure.
Either sets of parents.
Totally.
But typically it's the groom's parents are paying for the rehearsal dinner, the bride's parents are paying for the wedding.
Yes. Yep.
I have never in my life been a part of a wedding where people who were attending the wedding paid for any part of the rehearsal dinner or wedding.
Correct. And the reasoning behind that is the people attending are paying for travel and hotels and clothing.
And our guests.
Of the bride and groom.
Correct.
You are honoring there with your presence on a weekend that you're taking time to be 100% with them. That is why you buy things you do, like the car and the hotel room and the suit, and not the food.
The wedding is a party. You're hosting a party.
Correct.
The rehearsal dinner is also a party. You're hosting that party. So the hosts pay for the party, not the attendees.
Yes. Correct. Now,
please write us back and let us know about what happened to you.
Now, if money, money isn't like the rehearsal dinner doesn't have to be at the Four Seasons.
Right.
I've been to rehearsal dinners at a barbecue place and had a blast.
Well, and then my other question here is like, okay, I have been to rehearsal dinners that were like cash bars.
Sure. Yep. That scenario exists. Yeah. I've been to weddings that were cash bars.
Right.
That's fine. I get it. I understand that is against the norm, but I get it.
But like you're not paying for your meal
correct
at a rehearsal dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
There's options. You can go wine and beer, no liquor. You can go. I even kind of like a non-traditional, not only rehearsal dinner, but I kind of like a non-traditional wedding dinner too, because like cliche, but nobody remembers the dinner at a wedding. Sorry, nobody.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but people remembered our dinner. But we also like only had a dinner, so that's the only part they could remember.
Fair, yes. Nobody remembers the food. Nobody remembers the steak. I remember hors d'oeuvres like crazy. You send me around a couple past hors d'oeuvres, I'm judging those all day. And
we had a mushroom risotto of mine that fucked.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty. I'm a big arancini guy now. A couple past arancinis on a stick, Randy, with some San Marzano sauce, and bang. And bacon wrapped scallops, obviously. Maybe a cheese mountain. I don't know. Cheese and meat mountain. You ever see one of those in fruit?
Yeah, but like, have you been to a wedding outside where like the flies are starting to attack it? And it's,
It
like,
was
you're
actually where,
slowly pregnant?
it was in July in Saratoga
Yeah.
with the Cheese Mountain, and it was you had to get there quick.
You had to
Put it
get
that
there
way.
quick, and then it got weird.
Yeah, it gets weird. Gets weird.
Okay.
But the short answer is no. You are responsible in some capacity for the rehearsal dinner
The groom
and the groom. Yeah,
side,
correct.
more traditionally.
Correct. Again, let me blanket that with different strokes, different folks, different scenarios, different budgets. Societal norm is what we just said. Last one, Sal.
Yes.
This question is for Sally. Best for last. Sally, you've mentioned your pregnancy happened faster than you expected. I just got a positive test after our first month of trying, still processing, shouts. How did you tell those that you know have been trying for a while? And maybe you skipped them in line, per se. Any suggestions on how to share the news?
First of all, congrats.
Yep, congratulations.
This is a really fun, terrifying time. I remember
Yes.
this exactly. And I also had this scenario happen to me. I think the people who have been struggling with infertility
Mm-hmm.
are gonna understand. They may not take it probably the way that you want, which is like screaming and being excited and everything
Mm-hmm.
because of what they're dealing with, but that's not on you.
Correct.
I think as long as you're respectful and you're not like throwing it in people's faces, like
Mhm.
you are allowed to enjoy your pregnancy and this great news as much or as little as you want. We didn't tell anybody for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we did, I like told people personally or like called people separately. And there were a couple friends of mine who I told who had been struggling with infertility. And I was just
Okay.
like, I didn't even like talk about what they were going through. Cause
Mhm.
to me, there's so many shitty things about infertility and getting pregnant and staying pregnant and miscarriages and whatever. The most shitty thing though is that like women don't it's really still really taboo to talk about.
Sure.
And that saddens me because I think when I've had friends who've gone through having a miscarriage or who've gone through infertility, there's such a level of shame associated with it, like that the women are putting on themselves because your body is not doing the like one thing that you were made to do. And that's really tragic because I think that there's so many people who are going through it. And even for me, I just am like, I would want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't ever want to feel like somebody can't talk about it with me because they're going to make me uncomfortable or like they don't want to make me sad or whatever. I just think that we should be able to destigmatize talking about pregnancy and miscarriage. And there is a reason why a lot of people wait, Brett, until they're out of the first trimester, is because if I tell you I'm pregnant at like 6 weeks and then I lose the baby,
Mm-hmm.
that's like a harder conversation to come back and have and be like, well, I'm not pregnant anymore.
Right.
And then you're dealing with grief and like people have a hard time dealing with people who are in grief. All that being said, you're not responsible for how someone reacts to you.
Mm-hmm.
You are responsible in how you present them for information. But like, I'm saying all this with the caveat of if you tell a friend who's been struggling with infertility that you're pregnant and she doesn't take it well, that's on her. And that's shit that she needs to deal with. I think that there is totally a way to be respectful, but just know going into it, she may react negatively
Mm-hmm.
or she may be thrilled for you.
Sure.
And you use it as an opportunity to be like, how are things going? I'm here if you want to talk. Like, you know, I think one of my friends that I told her like, hey, I'm calling you. I called her and I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, we're pregnant. I'm due then. And she was like, oh, that's so great. I'm so happy for you. And I was like, thank you. We're really excited. I just want to know, like, I want you to know that I've been thinking about you. And I
Mm-hmm.
know that, like, you recently had a miscarriage or, you know, we talked about something she'd recently been through. And I was just like, how's everything going? you know, I want you to know I'm always here no matter what, like no matter what stage we're going through of this like fertility journey. And I think as long as you're open and honest and like
cognizant of people's
just
feelings
respectful,
and
like
right.
being like, I'm pregnant and like putting shit all over social media. And like, you should be able to do that. You like, it's, if you want to announce your pregnancy to the world and like have it all over social media and like post a freaking daily update, you're welcome to. I was not that person. But everyone should be able to do whatever they want with the news that they have.
Right.
I think as long as you tell them and are respectful, and I mean, you know your friendship, like you know if she's gonna want to talk or not, you know.
Yeah.
But always offering it and being like, "Hey, I'm always here if you need to talk or bitch or like cry."
And just sometimes the world is not fair, and I'm here for you.
And you know what? Saying that I think to people helps.
I like when people have said that to me. People say that to me. Because I've had some shitty health situations in my life. And I think that helps a lot, hearing somebody just say, you know what? That fucking sucks. The world is not fair. I'm like, thank you.
I think acknowledging that someone's having grief, like you're going through it.
Instead of the, oh my God, like, how can I help? How can I appreciate when people are like, that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
In a weird way. Like, thank you for agreeing with me that something fucking sucks.
And I think everyone handles grief a little bit differently, but acknowledging it, number one, saying, I'm here when you need me.
Right. Yeah.
If and when I'm going to continue to check on you. And if you need anything from me, let me know.
Yep. Yep.
But, I think the pregnancy thing can be weird because people get really like, it's weird. People get competitive. People get like shut down. It's just this whole world that like I never knew I was going to deal with until I turned 30,
Right.
But I think that obviously the fact that she's already concerned about how her friend is going to take it means she's going to approach the situation with respect.
Right.
Yeah. I think she's clearly aware, which is like step one.
You're right. Totally. That's step 1, 2, 3, in my opinion, is you are excited for yourself, but you are aware of those around you.
Right.
And how they may or may not react to the news. Like, I think that's a victory in itself, because you are not just bombarding them with your own excitement, right? You are excited for yourself, obviously, but you want them to know because they're a part of your life, right? Like, you do want them in the know. You do want them to not find out through a tweet or something, they're close enough that you want that, and you're cognizant enough of their feelings to be respectful for it. And I think you nailed every single thing that you said. So
thanks.
I know I was kind of riding shotgun for that one, but
well, I mean, when you get pregnant, you let me know.
Kind of have,
and then you can comment on it.
Right. So I just want to echo what you said and say I agree.
Thanks.
Anyway, that's going to do it for the questions on the mail. Do you have a shower thought by any chance, Sally?
I mean, all my thoughts are just about this juice I just finished.
You slammed that, yeah.
Well, not really. I've been drinking it over an hour.
Kidding. Maybe I'll do a cleanse of some sort before I go to Las Vegas. I'm actually doing no drinking for 2 weeks. And that'll be the first time in I don't know. You should do a cleanse.
Maybe you should do a cleanse after.
That's you know what? That's fair. I'll do a cleanse after.
Let me know what cleanse you decide to do.
Sally, whatever cleanse I say I'm going to do, I'm not going to do it. I'm better off trying to do like a routine of some sort.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, maybe eat like marginally healthy and work out.
I'm going to find like a 3-day cleanse for you to do.
I would do 3 days. I could do 3 days. You have a look in your eye like, oh, this is gonna fucking. This is gonna like, yeah. Like, you're gonna hate it, but I'm gonna love hearing about it.
I'm gonna find one.
Okay, I'll do 3 days.
Okay,
fair.
I'll have it for next episode.
Thank you. Oh boy, I don't know what I'm gonna get myself into. I don't really have a shower thought, I guess. My shower thought is, how in the year of our Lord 2022 are we still dealing with icy roads in Texas? Like, you would think, based on the last 2 years, there would be like hey, let's get some salt. Traditionally not one of the most expensive things to procure, right?
Yeah.
Let's put some salt on the roads. Even if it's not a crazy buildup, let's have like enough salt for a weekend, maybe. A couple days.
Are we going to deal with icy roads?
Dallas is dealing with very icy roads
okay.
right now.
Okay.
Coming this way.
Yeah, Dallas got to figure it out. Dallas gets ice.
They get ice
month.
every year.
Yeah. They get it several times a year.
You would think, and I know they have like a couple trucks running around, but it's the DFW Metroplex.
Come on, DFW, get it together.
Get it together. Anyway.
All right.
I had one more. This is what it was. I wrote this down. I did La Piscina last week with my buddy who was in town. And
we were supposed to go on Saturday and had to cancel.
I have to agree that they are the best fajitas I've ever had.
Have you been to El Tiempo?
Yes.
Okay.
El Tiempo has better, like the garlic butter kind of situation, and better chicken. But we did the bacon wrapped filet fajitas and the lamb hocks fajitas. So those were pound for pound better than El Tiempo.
I think El Tiempo is still my top dog, but La Piscina is probably number 2.
Okay. El Tiempo, queso is undefeated, Marge are undefeated, and quesadilla in my book. I'm a big quesadilla guy, but
yeah,
that's my La Piscina 2 minutes.
Nice.
All right, that'll do it for the mail-in. Where can the people find you, Sally?
Oh, Sally deFries on all social media.
I am Brett Merriman at Schmerriman, SHMERR. I'm on all social media as well, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.